Well, next week, we may get a visual representation of the political divide in this country when the United States Senate does come into session with all of its members, and the United States House does not come into session with all of its members. Joining me now is New Jersey's senior Democratic Senator, Bob Menendez. Senator Menendez, thanks. Let me just start with that. I feel as if the House and the Senate in general have struggled to find their footing collectively because of displacement and all of that. How much harder will this be if you have the House not in session, basically not there, the Senate there, and you're trying to come up with this Phase 4 plan?
Well, I think there's been great coordination, Chuck, and actually most of the packages that have come out because Senator Schumer and Speaker Pelosi have been engaged and with their conferences in what are the priorities of universal testing, the priorities of our hospitals, the priorities of workers. So I think it's worked well. And anyone who believes that we're not working remotely, I probably am doing more work now than if I was in D.C. But look, the reality is there's no question at some point it'll be necessary to go back to D.C. The question is, to Senator McConnell, are we going back just to take your friend, the judge, who is rated unqualified by the ABA, to vote for him, or are we going to be doing COVID-19 legislation and oversight?
Let me ask a larger philosophical question, because I think New Jersey represents this conundrum. For you, because of the importance of casino revenue to the state of New Jersey, to Atlantic City, the idea of helping out that industry is a good political vote for you. It's not a hard vote. But as you know, that might be unpopular in another part of the country. Bailing out oil and gas companies may be unpopular in the state of New Jersey and a tougher vote for you. The point is this. There's this idea out there, Josh Hawley on the right, Pramila Jayapal on the left, of essentially saying, don't make this an industry by industry fight, cover all payroll, the European model for 6 months. Where are you on this?
Well, look, there are industries that have received benefits for years. The oil and gas industry, for example, is one of the largest recipients of the tax code, even when they were making record profits. So, yes, I don't want to pick and choose industries, but by the same token, I want to recognize that many industries were making record profits and didn't, provide for a rainy day, as states often have to. So, I'd have to look at that. But the one entity I know it shouldn't matter whether you're red, blue, or otherwise, is the states and municipalities of our nation. They are overwhelmingly besieged by low revenues and high demand for services. That's something we need to do, and Senator Cassidy and I have a bill to do exactly that.
And one last question for you. The punishing of China. There's a lot of talk coming from the president, but frankly, China is a pretty unpopular player left and right. And there's a lot of concerns about how much our PPE was sort of tied to production in China. As somebody who's so deeply involved in foreign affairs in this country, where is your appetite with punishing China right now?
Well, look, the reality is that China is both a challenge, a competitor, and someone we have to strategically deal with. As it relates to punishment, first we have to have the facts. And we have to know whether or not China has done things that are both affecting trade issues, access to personal protective equipment, whether any of the allegations as to how the virus started is anything other than through the wet markets in China. So, I think it's too early to talk about punishment. What's necessary is to have global leadership by the United States, and the United States has absented itself, whether it be the World Health Organization, the United Nations, or other leading entities, in order of leading the world in responding to the pandemic. I think we should be thinking about that more than about punishing China right now.
All right, we are going to stick to our theme of New Jersey politicians right now. Senator Menendez, I want to thank you.